Hi everyone. I'm Mrs. Vaughn. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I apologize having to be there by video, but took a little bit of a spill on vacation this summer, and so my leg and foot are healing, and my finger. So hopefully I will be back soon. Just want to give you some background information about me. I taught at ISOM for 17 years, and then I moved over to Greenwood Middle School. This is my third year. Love teaching in Greenwood. Love teaching language and reading. It's really hard for me to not be there right now, but hopefully I will be back soon. Let me tell you a little bit about our class structure. I have your kids for 2 periods, so it's a little bit different than what it's like for other teachers. I have them either 2-3, 5-6, or 8-9. And that is basically because I teach 2 subjects. I teach language and reading. And I don't teach 1 period language, 1 period reading. I kind of mix it around. And, some days we'll do like 2 periods of reading, and then like next day we'll do 2 periods of language. Because the subjects are so integrated, it just works best that way. When the kids come in, right off the bat, we do bell work. Bell work should be an easy A because I give a lot of free answers. I give free answers and I say, hey, free answers, everybody, make sure you're writing them down. Sometimes they don't listen, but that's okay because most of the time they do. And so when you see that bell work or BW grade on Power School, that's what that is. I don't always collect it, but sometimes I do on Fridays when we're all done with it. What else? I've got my notes here so I don't forget anything. Basically, if you want to see the 6th grade language and reading curriculum on the Indiana Department of Education website, it's very lovely and beautiful. And if you want to read it because you're bored and you don't have anything else to do, feel free. But obviously, we cover all of the standards, and usually we do a layering thing with each activity. We try to make sure that the standards are packed into an activity, which means we're not just covering language or reading, we're covering both, and at that, several standards per activity. When I say we, I'm talking about our language arts team. That's Mr. Welch, Mrs. Schwab. We work together to plan our lessons. And then I'm also lucky enough, I have supported classrooms. I have Mrs. Pitcock. I have Mrs. Cash in my classrooms. I have Mrs. Hubbard in my 5-6. And it's really nice to have so much help in the classroom, and those people are really teaching along with me, so it's not just me. Let's talk about reading. In reading, we do novels and grade level passages. We do when we do reading assignments, there's not a lot of that level 1 questioning, which is like, read this passage and then answer this question. What color was the car? The car was yellow. We don't really do that anymore. That's level 1 questioning that happens in elementary school where you're reading for information. In 6th grade, we are reading a lot for purpose, and we are reading for not only getting the right answer, but supporting our answer with evidence from the text and making quotes from the text and elaborating on our thinking. Why do we know that this information is good information? What can we pull from our previous experience that tells us that it's good information? We do yes ma'am a lot. If your kids were in 5th grade at a Greenwood school, they did yes ma'am a lot. We continue that here. Those 6-line responses are all over the place. You'll probably get sick of seeing them. But we do a lot of those constructed yes ma'am responses in our homework and in our classwork. If you see yes ma'am, the kids know that that's worth 4 points every time, and that they're expected to bring it on those constructed responses, because by the end of the year, they know those inside and out. AR reading, we do AR reading here. And again, if your child was at a Greenwood elementary school and used AR, you know what that is. It's just a program software that Greenwood has a subscription to, where the kids read the novels and then they go on and answer quizzes. The nice thing about 6th grade, and probably the same about your 5th grade classes where we read novels, the novels are included. So we have that. If you have, like a 10-point goal, then your novel that we read in class might be like worth 6 points. So really 4 points in 9 weeks is a pretty easy goal to get, considering a 6th grade level novel is typically 6 to 7 points. So there's lots of opportunity to get that. Most of the AR reading, though, we expect them to do that on their own. We give time. I know a lot of other teachers have AR reading day, no matter what subject it is, and they give them time in classes to do that. So there's lots of time to read before AR points are due, and you'll hear me talk about AR points a lot. Language. Like I said, the language reading connection is really intense, and we really capitalize on that here in 6th grade. Their reading responses are usually 6 to 7 to 8 paragraphs in 6th grade. It's about 3.5 pages. And regardless of their education plan, we expect them to be able to do that. It's difficult for most, but we provide like a scaffolding, like we just try to build them up and build them up and build them up to get them to that point by the end of the year. Grammar, we do a lot of grammar. We do a lot of punctuation, semicolons, colons, hyphens, italics, parentheses, all those things. Again, feel free to read the Indiana State Standards. It's all there. Homework. Okay, so my philosophy on homework. Every teacher has their own philosophy on homework. Does it help? Does it not help? I have an 8th grade son myself. And so having him come up through the grades and kind of passing me and at my 5th and 6th grade level has really kind of given me an interesting perspective. I know that you're very busy and that you have lots of things going on, especially if you have more than one child. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you do it. Because I only have one. It's hard. Family life is busy. You're taking care of parents, you're taking care of your kids. You don't need to worry about all of that. Okay. So for homework, and I realize that you have all kinds of other classes too. Homework is given out on Monday and it's due on Thursday. So the kids can decide which night they want to work on it. Like if you're busy Monday and Tuesday, then just save it for Wednesday. If you're super busy this week, but you just have a little time on Monday and Tuesday, split it up. So that way it's flexible and you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes that changes, like depending on the week. Like sometimes, like Labor Day week, we'll give it on Tuesday and then it'll be due on Friday. So that's pretty much how the homework is. I am going to sign off and then come back next period, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the software and programs that we use at Greenwood and how you can best log into that. See you in a minute.